can testify to that, but tonight I want to focus on the ups, just to focus on your ups. And tonight I will take a few minutes just to discuss what your ups are, and I'm going to be using this hefty little iPad here for the notes, but I'm afraid if I run over there to get the paper notes, because this thing is on 20% battery, and we all know how Apple products are. So we're going to focus on the ups. U stands for understanding. After your first year, the first year after you're in high school, or after you get done with high school, it's very, very important that you focus on understanding. First, you need to understand your surroundings. You need to understand your relationships. You need to understand your classes. You need to understand your limits, and you need to understand your life. And when I went off to college, went to Pepperdine University, it was very, very important for me to understand my surroundings, understand what I was getting into. And that's anything. After you graduate from high school, it's very important to understand what you're getting yourself into, understand your surroundings and where you're going to be and where you're going to live and things of that nature. Because a lot of that influences how you're going to act down the road. So that's very important to understand your surroundings. I went to Pepperdine University, which was a Christian school. It had a Christian base, and I was picking between two, Chapman or Pepperdine University, and those two, I choose Pepperdine because I felt that it was going to be the best fit for me with the Christian principles and Christian basis. And that's all the understanding your surroundings. And the next thing is to understand your relationships. Understand who you're partnering with, understand who you're becoming friends with, understand who your roommate is if you're going to have a roommate. It's very important to understand all of these things because this, again, influences your life in college or your first year after you graduate high school. I have one story. When I first went to Pepperdine, they create this whole new student orientation. I'm sure other schools do that the same, and it's all where you bond with your incoming class. And it was just one particular group that I bonded with for a little while, but then I noticed a certain attribute of that group that was not going to fit for me. And then at that point I asked the Lord to separate me from them if it was His will, and over a period of time I was separated from that group, and I was mended with one of my best friends in college right now. So it's very important to understand your relationship, to understand who you're going to get in contact with. The next is to understand your classes. Listen here.
All right.
Understand your classes. Understand what classes you're getting into. Understand if it's important at that time. Understand what you're going to need to do to get your grades in that class. And understand what the teachers require. Understand what they require to get your grades and attendance and so forth. Let me tell you something. I grew up in high school where my parents woke me up for school